Welcome to the first international workshop. I'm sincerely glad that there is such a big interest towards Austrian experience. We will focus on the experience of Austrian schools, and we'll try to understand what the Austrian career model is. And in our practical part, we will dive into a digital tool. I'm pleased to welcome our teachers here. I hope that it will be interesting with Margit Pichler and Markus Krug.
Fine. So, welcome to this workshop, to our workshop. You did a great job if you finished installing your app, your application. So you did great work already. For waking up, I suggest to do some exercise, some gymnastic, so that we are all awakened and you can listen to my presentation. I will start with the presentation. I will give you some ideas of our concept we do in Austria about career education and guidance. And afterwards, you will get introduction to a digital tool we'll use in Austrian classrooms for the pupils in career education. So I will invite you to stand up, first of all. Just wake up the whole body. We start clapping our arms upside down. Other arm, thank you for the small applause already. So then we want to wake up all our brain cells, shoulders, and then down the back, yes, and down the legs, up the belly, and this is what we do. Children like to do it because it's like the gorilla does. And so they feel strong and they poses. And so we want to have strong youth, strong young people. So we have to tell them how to do it. Thank you very much. So all the technical stuff. So I'm very glad to be here today at the Estonian Career Guidance Conference in Tallinn. I visited the old town city yesterday. It's a lovely city with lovely, friendly persons all around here. I feel very comfortable in Tallinn. And to be honest, I'm not very used to give conferences in the English language. I normally do conferences in Austria. I'm working at the University College of Teacher Education. And there I'm a lecturer and I'm a researcher for career education and guidance. And I've been in this area of career education for many years. And I started teaching and counseling pupils from age 10 to 14. And since 2015, I'm working at the University College of Teacher Education in Lower Austria. And I'm responsible for the training of the specific roles of teachers in the field of careers education and guidance system. At the University College of Teacher Education, we developed an international trainer curriculum for career education and guidance in schools. So actually, we will start a university course in Luxembourg in autumn 2020, so this year. In the European context, you find many terms like lifelong guidance, you find career guidance, guidance and counseling services. But in Austria, there is an English term, this English term guidance is paraphrased as IBOBB. So you see the letters IBOBB. This is the acronym for the meaning of information, counseling and guidance for education and career. So this is the the Austrian concept of career education and guidance. And we want to describe a very universal, holistic and comprehensive model for careers education and guidance in Austria. And therefore, we have this standardized concept it includes support measures for careers education and guidance, not only within the school system, but also measures to support people of all ages and at all stages of their life and in their choice of career and career planning. So IBOBB, so the international expression would be guidance, lifelong guidance. We call it IBOBB in Austria. And this concept represents, it is an overall concept in careers education and guidance. I want to highlight you 5 key priorities of the Austrian lifelong guidance concept, which is becoming increasingly important. The best possible further development and coordination of career education of IBOBB is the focus of Austrian and European strategy development for lifelong guidance. First of all, there is the implementation of basic competences in all curricula. These basic competences are above all the ability to self-reflect, especially with regard of the abilities, of their interests, of their performance, of their desires. Of the desire of the young people. Then another basic competence would be the decision-making process ability. So including the ability to shape decision-making processes and to deal with the multi-dimensional decision basis. So life is getting complex, so we need a good decision-making ability for the youth. And another competence will be the information research and evaluation. And last but not least, it's very, very important that young people are able to define and pursue their own goals. So we tend to forget this very important thing. We just give them measures one after the other. So our teachers are very well trained to find out the goals of the students so that they have a self-development, so that they have a feeling of who they are. These competences are very important to learn so that learners can make education and career decisions autonomously. Another key priority is the process orientation. So we want to enable a high-quality decision-making process, and we need to give them an idea what the process of decision-making is all about. So not only to give them one measure or one thing after the other, they have to find that it's a process and they can develop, they can do a self-development. That's very important to recognize, not only for the pupils but also for the teachers. So we try to do at the University College of Teacher Education to tell the teachers that it is very important to have this process orientation. Another thing is the professionalization of counselors and trainers. So that's my part at the University College. In order to ensure quality in career guidance, we have to train those people who give guidance in professional ways. So we are we do need specifically trained teachers who can provide careers education and guidance in schools. Not any teacher can do it, but we need some very well-trained teachers, therefore. So people or teachers who provide career guidance services have to be well-trained. And in Austria we do so, I will tell you afterwards, even at an academic master level. We have a master degree program for careers education and guidance. Another very important thing is the quality assurance and evaluation. And sometimes teachers at school forget for that very important tool. So we have to remind them all the time to make really quality assurance and evaluate their process and maybe do other measures the year after. And last but not least, there is a very important priority to give or to make opening up access to other target groups, like we have many migration people in our classrooms. We have some pupils who has special needs. So we have to define measures and open the access to all these groups of pupils. So I brought you our Austrian educational system. In the entrance you will find a table where you will find our charts and overview of the education system. Please help yourself and take one. As you can see, there is our concept, or national concept, the IBOBB concept, and the Austrian education system provides a wealth of options at an early stage. So we start at after 4 years of primary school. Pupils in Austria have the choice to do two pathways. First of all, they can do the new secondary school, and the other way is the choice of academic secondary school lower cycle. So it's about the age of 9 to 10 years. They have the first choice to make. And once they have completed 9 years of compulsory education, so compulsory education lasts 9 years in Austria, and as you can see, there is an education system till the grade of 8, and then they have the choice. First of all, they can do a pre-vocational school. It's called Polytechnische Schule, a school in Austria. And pupils who take this choice, they are very well prepared for the labor market. Because afterwards, after this 1 year of pre-vocational school, they can do an apprenticeship, a traineeship, and it's very special in Austria. We have a dual system. It's combined a training. 80% of time they are in a company. They work in a company, and 20% they have to go to a part-time vocational school. So about 10 weeks a year, they go to the vocational school, and all the other time they are at the company and learn from the role models. But there's another decision to make, maybe. So we have other possibilities after the grade 8. So they can do some, they can continue academic secondary school, upper cycle, or they can do a higher education, a vocational education system. It lasts for 4 years, 5 years. The academic secondary school lasts for 4 years. So as you can see, it's many choices to make. So we have to prepare our pupils very well in the grade of 7 and 8. So this is the time where IBOBB concept is settled. So we prepare them at the age of 13 to 14 years old in a timetabled lesson. And Of course, we know from studies that it's very important to start earlier than at the age of 13 or 14, but this is a compulsory careers education lesson which is given to the pupils at the 7th and 8th grade. And I will tell you afterwards what is it all about. What's very important, as you see, it's a very complex, universalistic, comprehensive model. We need to combine the concept of IBOBB with all the available measures, support measures. We need a trained and appointed career guidance coordinator at school. So since 2017, it's compulsory to have a coordinator, a career guidance coordinator at school. So we, at the University College of Teacher Education, we are going to train them, but we don't have all the teachers trained already. So we have plenty of work left to do so, because it's you have to, one person have to be appointed by the headmaster, and this person is responsible to coordinate and do all the support measures and do contact and cooperation and collaborative works with stakeholders outside of the school, not only inside of school. And in Austria, we are going to try, it's not always easy, but we'll try to hold all teachers responsible for this task, for this IBOBB concept, and not only the specially trained career education teachers. So we call it, and as you all know for sure, we call it the career management skills. So it's not only placed into the IBOBB concept, as it's placed in the IBOBB concept, but it's not only done in the careers education lesson, but all curricula has to fulfill or has to do this career management skills. So that's sometimes a wish, but we train teachers and we do some special training at the school site so that we can talk to all the teachers and tell them the importance of careers education, because it's not only to find your job, but it's a self-development process, and so we need all the teachers at school. So as you can see, Careers Guidance Austria Schools is organized according to a 3-level model: information, counseling, and guidance. And the information part is the transfer of knowledge, the deepening of knowledge. We know from research that it's not possible to transfer knowledge from A to B. So we have to do some other work to get young people very comfortable to all the career management skills. But this is provided by the careers education lessons, which are given by the careers education teachers. And then a second pillar is the counseling at school side. So there is a specially trained teacher, a counseling teacher, and he has to give advice and guidance. And both of these are supplemented by school psychology service that can offer specialized assistance. So we have some help from the school psychology. And to ensure this concept, I told already, we need all the classroom teachers and a wide range of other individuals and agencies outside of the school, and they give support to the children, to the pupils as well. And as I mentioned earlier, each school has to have a specially trained teacher with careers guidance coordinator abilities, and he has to coordinate all the requirements of the site-specific concept. So this process is supported on several levels, and As you can see here, IBOBB is the translation for guidance, for lifelong guidance, and we have the site-specific concept of measures. It's written down in a reference paper from the Federal Ministry of Education, Science and Research. And so it's several levels. We have, first of all, the careers education lessons. We do experience-based learning. We have the career information provided by the careers education teacher, the career counseling, and as I mentioned, the educational psychologist. So then the whole concept gets a process, and we need to choose it very, very clearly. So, yes, it's an honor to me to give you a quote of Raoul Sottano from Malta. I had the opportunity to meet him on a conference in Salzburg. It took place last October. We have a national networking event. It's held by the Austrian Federal Ministry of Education, Science and Research. And the networking event takes place every year for all the guidance community. It's very important to do collaborative work, and within all the school authorities and the university colleges of teacher education. So we come together in order to raise the quality of career guidance in schools. And in Austria, our concept, the IBOBB concept, is heavily influenced by Sottano in the development in our concept. So we are very grateful to have Sottano, and he was working with the ministry, and yes, it was a really great opportunity for me to meet him and get some inspirations, some good inspirations. So, careers guidance in Austrian schools. Within the school system, so I repeat it because I think it's very important to point out that there have to be specially trained teachers at school side, and there is, once more, there's the careers education classes. In Austria we call it Berufsorientierung, so vocational orientation, it would be the translation of it. And so we have these special trained teachers for children aged to 12 to 14. And this careers education, number one, it's embedded across different subjects, and it's a timetabled lesson, and we are also bringing in external people from the community, like employers or role models at any of all kinds. We also have Chamber of Work, we have the Chamber of Commerce. We are working very closely, and we try to give them a teaching in classroom. So these are lessons, specially lessons in the classroom. The second pillar is the individual student counseling. So, you know, sometimes young people require much more intensive attention. So they not only need the careers education lesson, they also need individual advice, counseling. And so we have one-to-one setting, and this teacher is at the school site, in school, and they can go to him anytime they want to. They just have to call him and ask for help or for advice, and it is given to them. And the third pillar, it's very important, and we know, or studies tell us that these real-life encounters, such like work placements or job information fairs, this is a really important thing to have this element. It's the external experience in the world of work. So if you look at some concepts for careers education, we know that the implementation of careers education is very important. So young people have to be self-reflected and reflect on their goals and get also some feedback. But the strongest message about the world of work were not coming from school, unfortunately. We can't do that much that other choices are. So they're coming from external jobs where the students take their experience. So that's the most important thing, and it's compulsory in Austrian school systems to have these work experience. And students may get the chance to develop a sense of who they are, a sense of their career identification, and a sense of self-efficacy. So it's not only important to get the models and contact mentors, it's also very important to learn effective career behavior, but the most important thing is to do the personal experience with the world of work. And I took this message from Sottano as well. He says that we as teachers or counselors have to consider that we can't assume that we know a lot of the world of work, we as teachers. Because many teachers study teaching, then they go back to school, so they are students, they go back to school and they have never seen the world of work. So we are the experts, of course, we all are the experts of the world of work, but we only know it from reading and from studying, but we don't know, we don't get the experience. And we can't really talk seriously about the world of work when never have been there. So in our training, careers education and guidance training in the University College of Teacher Education, all the teachers, it's compulsory to them to go out to the company, to get the feeling. And it's very interesting, they come back and they tell me it was really hard to find a company. I was asking them, they were asking companies to go for work experience, and it's not always easy. So they get another way of thinking when they go back to school and their pupils are going to the companies and find a work experience, a work placement. So it's another mindset of the teachers afterwards, because they have to do it themselves in our career education training. So it's very, very important to get a sense of a feeling, what is it about to work for 8 hours in a company, for example. So it's not only important for the pupils, but also it's important for the careers education teachers to get in touch with the job experience, and so they can find out if there are ideas of jobs for the pupils. They can find out if the idea of jobs match with the actual job profile. That's the most important thing about this experience in the companies, the working experience. So this is maybe the most important slide for you. This shows the organization within the school system and how careers education is organized in the school context. So as you can see, here you have the careers guidance coordinator. It's centered for communication, for cooperation. So we need it to take contact to all the external partners. I told you earlier, so these are the Chamber of Work, it's the Chamber of Commerce, we need some role models, and a very, very important partner in the context of career education are the parents. We all know that parents are not easily to get into the process, so we do hard work to find some concepts to work with the parents. So actually we are starting a project in Austria in the University College of Teacher Education in Lower Austria, where I work. We start a project, we called it Parents Campus. So we want to get the parents, first of all we do a survey to find out what are the wishes of the parents, what do they want for their children. So as you maybe know, parents often tell us we want to have it better for our children. They should have it better. So we live in a really good environment, so anything can be better, not only go to higher education. So they don't know all the possibilities. So we have to tell them what it's all about the career education. So we are very curious what it is about to do this parents project. Maybe I can tell you another time what is our researching. So as you can see, there is the school management. It's the headmaster. So the last responsibility takes the school management. But the most important person is the careers guidance coordinator. He is a manager. He or she is a manager at school, and he has to manage all the things around this careers education and guidance. So as I told you, we have this counselor. He's only for counseling information in a one-to-one setting. So we have the specially trained careers education teachers, and of course we need all the teachers of all subjects, all school subjects. So there are different ways to get the concept in the classrooms. Sometimes there are projects, sometimes there is an integrated version like the academic school system does. And then there is the time-doubled lesson, which is compulsory to Austrian schools in the grade of 7 and 8. And the aim is to develop guidance skills across all subjects. Okay, so then, once more, I want to tell you. So we have the qualification, which is required for careers education classes, careers guidance coordination, and school education counseling. And there are specific courses at University College of Teacher Education. And we try to do so we start a new university course each year. So we start one in autumn 2019, and we'll start one in autumn 2020, as well as we start a university course in Luxembourg. And we also have a relevant training, also have been taken as well. So not only these specific courses, we do great work in the University College of Teacher Education to get the teacher well trained. So there's another chart, as you can see, what are the content of this specially teacher trainings. First of all, for the careers education teachers, so the German acronym is BOLE, it's for Berufsorientierungslehrer, so it's called BOLE, and the BOCO is the career guidance coordinator. And the first step is the basics. They have it all together, and then they split up and they have some different things to do, so imaging of finding people, of people and finding a job, practical training, as I mentioned before, so experience of the world of work, of making experience. The coordinator is more the management. Knowledge management, project management, know how to document and to evaluate all the processes taking place at school site. So they are special trained. And of course, a very special thing is the school and education counselor at school site. The responsibility within the concept of Austrian schools to ensure the implementation of IBOBB, we have first of all the school itself. They have to take a site-specific concept to a process control. And then there is the boards of education. They have to do the quality management and the regional education training. So we have a new organization in Austria. We have, each federal state has some regions. In Lower Austria, where I come from, we have 6 regions. And in each region, there is a small community, and they find together to events to get in an exchange. And of course, there's the University College of Teacher Education where the qualifications take place. So we are very glad in Austria to have the Ministry of Education, Science and Research, because they have many reference papers for us. The most important is the catalog of measures in the field of information counseling and guidance for education and career. There you can find all the measures, all the support measures which has to be done during the grade 7 and 8, as well as the secondary level 2 in the level 11 and 12. And we can do these measures, this catalog of measures, to get a concept tailored to a specific site. So there are some other reference papers. For example, this is the General Ordinance on Careers Guidance Coordination. It's new. It released in 2017. And the General Ordinance on School and Educational Counseling was reviewed in 2017. So we have many reference papers where we can support the schools as well. And as you can see, there are some more reference papers all around that. And schools are really strongly supported by the Education Ministry. It's a great help for us. We have criteria for the new secondary school. We have target vision of successful implementation. It's the most important thing. I remember yesterday it was the question, how can we implement career education and guidance into school? So we get really much support from the Federal Ministry of Education, and that's great help for us. We get all the information information sheets for the headmasters. So we have to give the information to the headmasters because they even don't know all the things, because there are some other agendas on the table. So they not only have to take care for the careers education and guidance, so we have to give them some help to implement this IBOBB concept into the school. Now I will show you give you a highlight of our website. Unfortunately, it's only in German, so it wouldn't help you as much. But it helps our careers education teachers and careers guidance people because they can get any information for their careers education lessons. They have the legal concepts. They get all the information they need for implementing the IBOBB concept in school. So I'm very lucky because I'm an editor for this website, and I'm always asking my teachers at the courses to give information so that it's very helpful for them. It doesn't make any sense if we do information that they don't need, so we collaborate and we want to ask them, what do you need for school? What can help you? So we put everything on this website, and we get the feedback. It's a really great help for them. So I have to hurry up, yeah. But I'm really at the end. So there are some key topics what is about at this website, and now we come to the digitization thing, the digital stuff, where I have a great pleasure to introduce Markus Krug to you. He will now do the second presentation. In order, you can use your app, your Skrill app, and he will show you, and Markus, the stage is yours.
Thank you.
Thank you, Margit. Do you think we can have time for questions after Markus?
Yeah.
So, yeah, et kui teil on küsimusi, siis pärast Markuse osa.
So if there are questions, though, after the presentation, but Markus, you can ask your questions.
Hello, Tallinn. I have to say I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I have to apologize. It's the first time I try to speak English during a lecture with such a lovely audience. It's not really the English language. It's more the Austrian way, the Austrian style to do it. It's a funny English-Austrian slang like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I hope you remember his quotes. Hasta la vista, baby. I'll be back. Trust me. Yeah, Margit is the real Terminator. Oh, no, the expert for guidance system. My part is to be the funny guy around the digital stuff concerning these topics for kids. And maybe teachers too, and guidance counselors also. Over 30 years, I started with this vision, with this idea. I set over 100 lectures and presentations in Austria and Germany, and wrote a website as well. You can see it here. It's called ICT. In Austria, you call it IKT. My vision is to bring some digital basics education into classrooms. This website, you got some impression of it. It's written in German. Is full with apps, tutorials, web links, and they're useful for everyday school business. This idea has been picked up by 27 different school books and 2 big school book publishers too. Now I organize 7 different branded websites with my ideas. And my idea with the aim that kids should be active, digital active, to be creative, to be curious, to organize themselves, and to do it yourself with your own digital device. But the most important thing is that the digital stuff is not a self-purpose, it's just a tool in our beautiful analogical world. One little part of these ideas is the learning app is well comparable to IBOBB, as you all know for sure. It's a learning app, it's a training app, it's completely free, you got no fees, you have no adware, available for all smartphones, tablets, personal computers, and operating systems. You can create your own course, your quiz, you can take existing courses, you easily share with a QR code, and you can train alone or manage it with your classroom. You can adapt your course, you can see your own learning progress. As a teacher, you can track and the learning process of your kids. The complete learning analytics and learning time management system is for free. Tests, homeworks, and quizzes are set easily and self-controlled and evaluated as soon as seconds. Right from the beginning, during the last 3 years, we wrote about 20 courses, over 10,000 questions with new informations for history, chemistry, biology, and so on. What's probably the most interesting part for you is we developed one course for career education and guidance in the German language. It's developed for and with students and teachers. It's free to use. It's so-called OER. We do, we plan, we offer. Margit is like a robot, like a real Terminator. It's your turn again. Could you explain, please?
Okay, so as I explained earlier, we developed a course for Luxembourg. We will start it in September or October 2020. And there we are going to plan to develop a course about eSchool, so it's country-specific. So we're going to plan not only to do a course in Austria, but to do courses in other countries like Luxembourg. We start in Luxembourg, and we can start in all other countries to do such a course, because it's very important to motivate the pupils and to give them an idea, and they can practice what it's all about, what are the stakeholders all around the careers education. And this information they get from this app, and they can do it easily, and you will see it afterwards what it's all about. And so we do a career guidance course, and it's open. It's an open educational resource, so everyone in school can use it. It's just to download the app. It's the only thing you have to register it, and then you are in the app. So our vision is that we can do some courses not only in Austria but in all other countries and in any language. But I think you will tell afterwards.
Yep. So I'll be back. Skrill is not only an app, it's a learning tool, it's also fun, it's a challenge, it's a race. So let's get ready to rumble. Ready, steady, go. Start now your own device, start now your own European quiz just for practicing the tool. For those who haven't got the app within the quiz, please work together with your neighbor. We both support you. You have got 4 minutes left to try the European quiz.
So we want to invite you that you just get an idea what is this eSchool app about. It's has nothing to do with careers education. So because we have a course for careers education just only in the German language, but for trying it, simply to do, easily to do, what it is about, what are the tools within the app. So you can have a video, maybe some of you already have done it, we have seen it in the background. So have much fun in doing this small, easily app. So this app, this course we just developed for this conference.
Could I help you? So you have to book the course. It's done in seconds. So, and ready, steady, go.
So you can take mine if you want to. So I don't know where is the...
Estonia.
Yeah. Yes. So you have to click. Tack. Here we go. Hast du noch...
Sie sitzt da.
Der mit Gran hat nämlich, der kann nicht eine...
Ja, sie macht die jetzt schon mit.
Okay.
Ja. Los. Pass auf.
It's not very difficult. I think you will challenge it.
Is it possible to combine with... Yeah? Yeah?
Oh, you didn't get it. Okay, fine.
I think there was some kind of internet problem.
Ah, okay. Because all of the people... If you're wrong, you get a second choice to do it. You need some help? Yeah, that's the fact. Our pupils like to do it as well.
They're online anyway, so it's...
Yeah. So it's a tool where you can motivate them and to show them, and they are going to learn it autonomously. You don't have to say you have to learn. They do it for
to make mistakes here.
Yes, you get a second chance, and then you get a solution, and then you get another chance. So you're learning without knowing to learn.
Yeah. You can see some learning analytics in the front
They are
of you.
very busy now. They want to take all the questions.
F5.
Testing your European knowledge. Yeah. It's a learning app, so you get a second chance to do it. Test your own knowledge about Europe.
Any questions? No questions? Any mistake? You have to fill in. Have to move like this. Okay. Cool. Ich habe das eingestellt. Ich habe gesagt 25 Minuten, aber da hat sie ja auch noch was da.
Mhm. Ja, jetzt haben wir noch 7 Minuten. 7 Minuten. Die Analytics kannst du auf jeden Fall herzeigen.
Okay. Was?
Die kannst du herzeigen, auf jeden Fall, und,
Ja.
und beschreiben.
Ja, shoot it.
So as you know, lifelong learning is always present.
Great.
Somehow I don't know why it's still. I did restart the phone.
It's an Android system.
Yes,
Maybe you have to restart the smartphone.
I did that.
These are the solution now. So the effect is to learn now what is the correct answer, and in
Well,
the
there's no problem.
next level
Maybe
you get the chance to do it on your own.
App
So you have
can
to
install.
sort
Maybe it's a
out,
problem of
not
the phone and not a problem
to
of the app.
click the correct answers, but to sort out what doesn't belong to
You
the
had to small box
countries.
install.
Can I create the course so that I make the first test?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
And then at the end,
yeah.
same tests, but I can then compare the results.
Yeah, you can, because there are learning analytics, and you can see,
Seems the same problem.
but it's his.
Seems to be a
Yeah,
problem with
yeah,
the
yeah.
smartphone.
Yeah, we just developed it for this conference. But
Maybe
Markus,
you have to small place for it. You have to check
yeah, you can use it the whole
in
school year,
configuration.
and
The settings.
you can publish it. Then you have to, or you can have your own course just for your classroom.
Storage, yeah, storage.
But he knows it better because it's his tool. I will ask
Should
him.
be enough.
Markus, there's one question she wants to. Sie will einen Kurs erstellen.
Yeah. You got a question? Yeah.
Can I use it so that I make a test, for example?
So, have you finished? Do you have fun? That's the most important thing. We want to have happy children, happy students. Indeed, it makes fun to do so. We have to stop now. Ah, yeah, of course. I think it's, you see, okay, so now. Okay, but it hasn't refreshed. So this, my result was 9.5. Maybe you have to refresh it. I don't know, maybe if the level, the points are lower than the first try, maybe it doesn't show you. I don't really know, because he knows it quite well. Okay, so so it almost everyone has finished the quiz. Congratulations to you. It doesn't matter what score there is on the screenshot, because you can learn it once again and once again.
So it's done.
Maybe we get your attention once more, please.
Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. You can see the learning analytics over there. You see the timetable. You see how the pupils, how you got to the course. You see the percentage. All is for free. The only thing you have to set is the course. You can share it with your pupils with a QR code, like I told you. It's the easiest way to learn content. I did it for the last 20 years. For me, it's the best application. I set over 10,000 questions, as I told you. And in Austria, it's a famous tool in school books too. Pupils study with that, have homework, have their tests, have their quizzes, have their race, have their challenge, have their fun to learn things in school. So, could you change again? 3 minutes. We're done. Yeah, coming to the end. Any questions? Any idea? Any course? Let's talk about it and drink a cup of coffee. The Austrian way of discussing something important, Austria. We have to say thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
kas keegi soovib küsida?
Are there any questions? If not, so thank you very much. And I will pass the mic over to Kristina. Hello, I'm Kristina Harjo from the Unemployment Foundation. And now I will give you some time to reflect upon what you have heard, and I request you to come forward with your comments and the highlights from the session over here. So we will document those comments or those propositions, and will organize two coordinated discussions. And could you please join the tables where there are more people in order to have smooth discussion. So there are only 2 people in front over there. So please join the table here in front as well. So we have 20 minutes total for discussions till 10:50. And I request you to spend approximately 10 minutes on discussions, what would be the learning points from the previous presentation that seemed to you important, and there's a potential possibility to implement in Estonia as well. And please also discuss and decide who will be the rapporteur from your table. So let's try to list or to document a list of ideas that would be fruitful for further discussions.
nii, 1 minut veel, võtke lauas asjad kokku.
1 more minute, please draw the conclusions at your tables.
Nii, ma saan aru, et diskussiooni jätkuks kauemaks.
I understand that there's still a desire to continue discussions, but let's draw the conclusions at the moment, and please speak for your table. So the first table over here. Our short wish would be that there could be one full-time career teacher, fully qualified, educated. We would wish to have at least one full-time career teacher in our school. So thinking about the presentations here, we would wish to have a kind of common platform for the teachers, subject teachers and career teachers for discussion and information sharing. And there could be also the Unemployment Foundation Agency there as well. So the key word would be a common platform for methodology and information and networking, of course. We liked very much the manner that there should be a comprehensive school system so that all the teachers would know what to do, even during the subject lessons, how to integrate the career counseling. So we would wish to have in our school also similar system supported by all the teachers and adequate training for teachers. Our key word was just systemic approach, so that over the nation there could be clear understanding in order to facilitate our everyday work, so including the teacher training and in-service. I have to apologize that we seem to agree with the first comment, but in addition to the list already, we decided that there should be a kind of stable, continuous training, not project-based. So very clearly, theory plus practice. Practical work. So it shouldn't be a kind of event that is dependent on the project money and enthusiastic ideas. So I think that there has to be a stable, systematic approach to it, already documented as well, so that we all participants can already plan our everyday work accordingly. And the last table. So work experience was our key discussion topic here, including teachers and also students. And from several angles, we just coined some of the ideas at how to organize this across the country. And why not to introduce this practical experience level for the career counselors and teachers as well. So external practical opportunities for teachers and career counselors. So that was for students and teachers, both, and also for career counselors, so the kind of practical labor market experience. So in order to have personal experience in a real workplace as a temporary. So that this could be an overall wish to participate in this external work experience. So what was at the beginning? So one full-time career counselor to each school, then a common platform for methodology and information network. So, and twice it was the wish to have a clear understanding of roles in participants, and then again the kind of continuity in training and financing, excluding the project-based approach. So thank you. So we will document these ideas into the Mentimeter, and you could see the outcome of the best ideas from our conference, and let's see whether the next steps in development the career counseling system in Estonia could be enriched. And now we have time for the coffee break. How much time? Half an hour? The next workshop will commence in 11:20, so in between there's a short energy break too. And so please get the information where you are supposed to attend, go and attend next. And a few pieces of information that during the day we will upload today's presentations onto the webpage, and then try to get information from the Archimedes Facebook and Instagram, and please share your own photos there. Thank you.